wish Morris were here with me already. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose, do we? What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart. Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the rude keeper, and now poor Cole's locked up in a cage. Him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were their age. I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there, working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice, does it? Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorising the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. It is, isn't it? Kate is nothing if not resourceful. It's a shame she doesn't put that talent into helping people instead of hurting them. I don't know. The keeper at the gate turned Morris away because of the brand on his face. I would have left with him, but I was sick and exhausted from the journey, so I promised to join him when I got better. Except now I've no idea where to find him. No, he only promised that he'd find somewhere safe, but I'm not sure if there is any such place left in the south. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know as soon as you learn anything. At first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit around here, doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that, but no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here. Be careful out there, love.
Oh, it's you. I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me, then... Oh, I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not one of us. And you're not local either.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. Kind of poor ambience, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least we have a roof over our heads. My boy Frank and I came here with the others. We left our village because... we had to. Well, I had to. But Frank is a good lad, so he came with me. I took him in, you know.
Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then, but I could tell he'd be a strong lad once he thawed out. He used to help out on the farm.
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast out of the Del Rita.
At first, the people in our village gave him dirty looks. But then they realized he wasn't a bandit.
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Frang is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill.
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frang, came along. Everything seemed to be going pretty well.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle, and finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree, and so did Frang. He says he has some kind of life debt, and he won't leave me alone until one of us drops dead. I'm sorry too. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. And this nasty thing with Coll. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended like that. He and Beatrice got along very well. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long.
Something happened. Frang listens. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang. A name. And not a name. Nothing happened to Frang. A stray, taken in by a miller. That's all. Frang cannot be a dull riada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he is not of the tribes. Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. Not seen in the south for a long time. Must be dead. A place without a leader. As I see it, I will finally fall apart. One way or another. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's, which is to say, nothing. Now they're a bit like Frang, strays with no home. Beatrice is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis, he's funny. I like him. Rawson, I know nothing about her. And Dugald, a man who became Frang's father. He has my gratitude. Don't bother. Frang never met the keepers, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we we thought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Shouldn't do that. The keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Fran. I'm Fran.
You've come to put me in the cage. Sorry. Just a bit of grim humor. You know, about what's been happening here. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's alright, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Frank? That boy is golden, I'm telling you. Smart, nice, quiet though. He keeps his head down. Only once did I see him angry, and whoa, that was something. I thought he was going to kill me on the spot. That was back on the road, right after we met. We came here later. He sure did. I nicked Dugald's roast squirrel. It was the last one. Supposed to be his. But I forgot. I felt really bad about it. Normally, Dugald would tear me a new one. You know how it is. Miller's blood runs hot. But when Fran lunged at me, Dugald was speechless, completely shocked. Cole had to calm Fran down. Cole was a great guy. Fran, a thief? Nah, not a chance. He's got principles. Fran's not just your regular Avalonian kid. He acts differently, like he's not from here. If they were to hang him, I'd take his place. Well, no I wouldn't. But you know what I mean. Fran's a good one. Truly. Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere where I could just do some goldsmithing, but I'm a bit scared. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about, even if I still had one. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them, business people. I was once travelling with a caravan that got attacked by him. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewellery they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in. Came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew what I wanted to craft. They gave me a couple of days. I tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice, went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? "Of course I would." That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that.
What's left for someone like me? Didn't think anyone would stop by.
Still here, still breathing.
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. Oh, really? And what exactly did he tell you? That the man in the cage is a monster? That he deserves death? No? Cole isn't like that. This isn't who he is. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, but now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realised everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time it only got worse. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world.
Buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla. Then just bugger off. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family. Then made herself at home here. Damn those Timberwall merchants. Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Quanacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. I just told you, a business contract. It's an agreement. Two sides. One sells, the other pays. Sometimes you can also exchange material goods. A barter transaction. But anyway, it fell through. The captain'd rather deal with that woman. Good riddance to him. Well, it's all water under the bridge now. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the royal geographers, to chart the uncharted. But I broke my leg, badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore. You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the age of legends. They travel across Avalon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves, discovering old ruins. That's what Elisay and I dreamed of, though only one of us got to live it. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called, and they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby, so I asked them what that one was called, and they said, the Sunken Village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me, the village. How do you even work with that? Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less. Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this. I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them or not. It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many. Yeah, Orla, a woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit and no finesse when it comes to trading. You just gonna stand there and stare? Or are you gonna buy something?
What do you want? Who are you?
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, so, what you want? One day my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit. They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my arse. So there. Peace and quiet. Good one. I'll only have my peace and quiet when I'm finally dead. And that ain't gonna happen soon. At least when I'm with Finley, I don't need to listen to his nagging. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job. Why the sudden interest? Maybe if you bring me a drink, I'll humour you. Ah, so, what was your question? Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. Oh, so many questions. How about a drink first, and then we'll talk? Ah, so, what was your question? That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. Getting a bit too interested, aren't you? Bring a drink over, and I might share. Ah, so, what was your question? You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. Why all the poking around? Get me something to drink, and we'll talk. Ah, so, what was your question? I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked, well, anybody. I liked me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails, loyal to a fault. The kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn fool mission that was. We went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my eyes. A hard loss it was, but I'm still here. Though some days I wonder why. Why the sudden interest? Maybe if you bring me a drink, I'll humor you. Ah, so, what was your question? Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the horns. Damn fool mission that was. But here wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff to get under your skin. Looked like... hell, memories all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Peace, you say. Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know. Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, made Grindelows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. But when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my dreams. So, I drink. My brothers deserved better.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave lightkeepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell! It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
Did you hear about the captain's lockdown? Looks like the lads aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, but you know Fergus. He's got a stick up his ass. Only knows how to follow orders like a good little soldier. He's so uptight, he probably agrees with the captain. Thinks it's all necessary precautions and the like.
Speaking of precautions, what's all this talk I'm hearing about the weirdness creeping in? People are getting jumpy.
Ah, the weirdness. Got folks scared, all right. Used to be old stories to spook the young ones. But now, even the tougher lads are starting to believe there's more to it.
If the weirdness thing's real, we've got bigger problems than a lockdown.
Aye, and Fergus better pull that stick out of his ass and start focusing on the real threats, or we're all done for. If it's not urgent, I suggest you walk away. Now.
Did you hear about the captain's lockdown?
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? No, I don't recall anything like that. No, listen. I don't know what's going on, but I doubt any of the keepers had anything important on them. Half of them couldn't tell the quartermaster's seal from a pile of horse dung someone stepped on. But that means... no. Impossible. What if... holy moonshine. I remember. Sigiwald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi, he's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore. You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Aye, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a weird beast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore.
look who it is. It's the best of my friends. Oh, thank you for your support back there in the stocks. Always forgiving. If you find anything delicious, you know where to find me, eh? Pix and Dalray here, yes. And they say I'm the drunk.
Let me guess. He's trying to rope you into his campaign against Avalonian seagulls. It's a well-known story. All the keepers know of Gwylin's obsession, but it's less amusing than it sounds. You see, Gwylin is from a coastal village. His father, a fisherman, worked hard to feed his family. He instilled a deep hatred of seagulls in Gwylin, claiming they were our greatest enemy. He taught his son how to kill them effectively, and insisted they were agents of the Four Dwellers. Essentially, yes, but he wasn't always like this. When he joined, he just didn't like seagulls and avoided them. I gave him simple jobs away from the walls, and everyone was happy. Until one day, he asked to serve on the walls. I agreed because I thought he'd simply got used to the birds. I had no idea I would be contributing to feeding his obsession. I spoke to him. Between his rants, I heard a confession I didn't expect. When Gwylin was only 7 years old, he saw a flock of seagulls attack his father and pluck his eyes out. Is it true? Or the ramblings of a madman? It's not for me to decide. Don't get me wrong, Gwylin is harmless, and he's a good soldier, but he can't be helped. Whatever he's asked you to do, just ignore it. Don't argue with him, it's not your responsibility. If he brings up seagulls, just pretend you didn't hear him. That's what we all do. Captain Hagen, well, he was a man driven by pride and a certain disregard for caution. He sent men to explore those old tunnels beneath the keep. Somehow, he got it into his head that there was something valuable down in those tunnels. Treasures, relics, who knows what else. But the truth is, we know what was there. In the Age of Legends, it was just a hospital. There was some kind of outbreak or plague, and the place was sealed off. Nothing left to find, or so the records say. Yes, it weighs on me more than I'd care to admit. If I could, I'd see them laid to rest. But no captains ever bothered. It seems they thought it was a fool's errand. Maybe not worth the risk. If you're mad enough to try, then by all means, go ahead. Just don't expect any keeper to follow you. I really don't have men to spare. But maybe it's time to make it right. So, thank you, I suppose. I knew we'd have to deal with this sooner or later. Time isn't exactly on our side. Mahon's condition worsens with each passing night. It's hard for me to admit, but nobody, including myself, really knows what's going on. Maybe a fresh perspective is exactly what we need. If you find any clues, follow them. I'm only interested in the details, and ideally, the solutions. There are a few retired keepers living there. They might tell you about the good old days if you ask them nicely. There are also some refugees from north of the island, since we had nowhere else to put them. I don't really know much about what's going on in that place. I just make sure they have everything they need, more or less. You can always go see for yourself. People fleeing from bandits, from the weirdness, you name it. I wasn't exaggerating when I said we were the last beacon of hope this far south. For these people, we are. Don't know how many more we can take, but that's a problem for another time.
Oh, a new face. I haven't seen you before. It depends on who's asking and why. No, I'm kidding. I don't meet many outsiders these days. I'm Marg, a hunter in the service of the Horns of the South. I don't know what it is about this place, but even the dead hardly ever get any rest. Though I'll admit, it's getting worse lately. They keep emerging from the local cemetery in numbers greater than that small plot of land ever held. So I'm guessing we might have a necromancer on our hands. And here I thought after the Charred Conclave, we'd have more than 100 years of peace from them. Only every century or so. But even that's too often if you ask me. Something seems to draw them here. Well, that's probably all that death. The South has always been restless. And after what happened with the sunken village, I guess death has seeped into the very soil of this land. Must be quite alluring for that lot. Good. And try not to die. That undead swarm doesn't need any more recruits. Everything is interesting around here. But ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for. No. I have my reasons. You need to understand that when someone enlists with the Horns of the South, he leaves his former self outside the walls of the keep. His old life, it loses all meaning. If someone comes here and gets political, well, they'll end up disappointed. Well, I don't know if you're aware, but becoming the captain is a curse for any true keeper. It's not the honor others on Avalon seem to think it is. Because the captain answers to Camelot and its representative, Galahad. So every captain needs to get political, whether he likes it or not. And the current Galahad is a real piece of shit. He burns people under any pretext whatsoever, or none at all. He sows terror. I have no respect for the man. I'm self-sufficient enough not to have to ask for help. However, I suppose I could help you. I could share some things I found out during my hunts.
come to visit me here? Surely you're not here to steal my treasures, are you? They call me all sorts of things. Evil spirit, lurking fiend, imp fae, nasty little thieving pest. But really, my name is Mog. We're definitely not fae. That's something else entirely. I'm what people wanted to believe in. The one who snatched their last coin for a beer, swearing they had it just a moment ago. The reason they can't find their left sock in the morning. The cause of a missing wedding ring, oh, so on. It happens. I suspect it's because I really like to snatch people's little trinkets. But between you and me, if they paid more attention, it wouldn't be so easy to steal their things. You offend me in my own home. So not nice. Sure, it's junk to you now, but when you have to head out into the cold and can't find one glove, well, suddenly it becomes very important. And that glove? I've had it for ages. And I'm just helping people appreciate the little things, because those are the only things that truly matter in life, right? At least that's what some bores say. Nah, it's just hilarious, watching you all lose your minds over a missing key or a sock. And I've been doing this for centuries. It's second nature by now. Oh, you shouldn't ask a lady such things. But you can ask me. I don't remember exactly. 9, 10 centuries at least, maybe more, 15, 23, I don't know. Of course. I mean, the funniest part is, you live in a place where you shouldn't even be, staring death in the face every day. And yet, you get the angriest over the smallest things. The Red Plague? Oh, you'll manage somehow, but where the hell is my favorite pipe? What is it with you people and gold? I've been around for ages, I still don't get it. I don't give a damn about gold and jewels. When you talk about them, you suddenly get all serious and pompous. I'm just here for fun. Strange. I thought people liked being buried with their little trinkets and shiny bits. And since I'll be dying soon, a crypt seems perfect. That's right. I used to play tricks on people back in the homelands. Back then, they respected me. But ever since we came to Avalon, it's just been getting worse. They're forgetting. Sometimes someone still tosses salt over their left shoulder for me, or maybe leaves a little bowl of milk with honey outside, but those folks are rare now. And when they all forget me, that's the end. No, it's just the natural order of things. I've lived long enough anyway. But since I'm kicking the bucket soon, I could pass on some of my power to you. What you say? Because first you'll have to do something for me, and it'll be hilariously fun. Well, before I give you some of my power, I just want something from you. Something stolen. Nothing big or expensive, just a little trinket. Just sneak into someone's house and swipe the shoes, or grab a wooden mug from the tavern. Will you do that for me? Great! Now you can either keep your word and commit the terrible sin of theft, or break your promise. And if you ever feel like a bit of thievery, I'll be waiting right here. Well, have you got a little stolen something for me yet? Then hurry up. Who knows how much longer I've got left? Well, have you got...
goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it. You'll have to forgive them. They're a little disoriented. Waking up in this way is like coming out of a thick fog you've been wandering through for days on end. Dulls the senses, clouds the mind. Terrible for coordination. My name's Huardok, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body. Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while. Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here. I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service. I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Becca from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is. They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten. Oh, that would be Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated. Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore. Master is Master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions. Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles, and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long. You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could. Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed, just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely. Interested in local history, are you? Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Bless you, kind stranger. Those old bones are not what they used to be. Here, just take the key. Be careful, though. There's evil dwelling in those crypts. Oh, and I hope I don't need to remind you not to rob any graves. It's terribly rude, and I'd rather not deal with the complaints.
Careful there. Try not to step on the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile.
Stop. Well, what I am doing here is very important. Besides, I'm hardly hurting anyone. Well, anyone that matters, that is. That is a gross oversimplification. I am conducting valuable research, and yes, I do get rid of vermin and give their sorry existence some actual meaning. Posthumously, but, well, as they say, better late than never, right? Don't tell me you care about the lives of a few bandits. Don't enjoy it either. It's messy, and it takes up far too much time that could be better devoted to my research. Think about it this way. People who wrought so much misery on others could end up bettering the lives of everyone. I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. I know people fear this kind of magic, but it creates so many new possibilities. It could change the meaning of life and death.
Give those who died prematurely more time with their loved ones. We could learn to live without the fear of dying. We could treat death not like an end, but like a new beginning.
I'm not desecrating anything. It's just flesh. There's nothing sacred about it in the first place. It starts decaying the moment you die. I'm merely prolonging its usefulness. And I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. Oh, please. Is that the only thing people can think of when it comes to necromancy? What use would I have with an army? My ambition isn't to command the dead, but death itself. I aim to make Avalon a place where people won't have to fear it anymore. The problem is, I keep missing something. Raising the dead is easy, but I don't want mindless minions. I want truly living undead. Yet no matter what I do, it just won't work. Nonsense. The process, as you aptly called it, holds no secrets from me. I have studied its every stage, every aspect, all while keeping meticulous records. It's almost insulting how straightforward it is, how little variety there is at its very core. Death truly does make all of us equal. And yet, capturing the connection between the flesh and the spirit continues to elude me. No matter how I approach it. I've even tried to force it, but to no avail. Warduk. You mean the servant? I'm not sure where you got that idea, but he is indeed merely a minion. Quite a sophisticated one, I'll admit, but he's never said more than 2 words to me. Fine. If you wish to waste your time with him, go ahead. Who knows, maybe his first master simply forbade him from speaking his mind. Still, don't hold your breath for any groundbreaking insights. Any revelations?
Oh, you're back. Is he? I couldn't tell. I don't mean any offense, but they're all the same to me. Every one of them thinks they're reinventing death or breaking the circle of life. And the only thing they're doing is disturbing some honest folk in their rest. I don't have much choice, do I? But I don't mind the service. I like being around the dead. It's just the constant cleanup that gets to you after a while. Pah! No! I'm sure he won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason, and they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place. Ah, no. I just don't think we have anything to talk about. I don't mean any offense, but truth be told, they're all the same to me. Every one of them thinks they're reinventing death or breaking the circle of life. And the only thing they're doing is disturbing some honest folk in their rest. Oh, does he now? That's quite admirable. And rather unusual for his kind. Normally they act as though they know all there is to know, yet they always end up baffled by their failures. Oh, I'd love to help, but alas, I'm not certain I can. You see, death is intensely personal, and as such, quite indescribable. Well, whether you die alone or surrounded by loved ones, dying is the loneliest experience of our lives. It can't be shared or taken from someone. In the end, no matter how it happens, our death is the only thing that truly belongs to us. It's a potent experience, one for which there are no words, because there is simply no need for them. Nobody is meant to die and then return to tell the tale. I'm glad to have been of assistance. Though I do wonder how the Master will react when he hears about this. I just hope he doesn't do anything that will cause even more trouble here.
than a sword. It's a promise. A blade that stands for unity, for strength, and for hope. It wasn't just mine. It belonged to Avalon. Every swing, every battle was fought for the land and its people. But Excalibur is also a burden. It demands more than just skill. It demands purpose. Without that, then it is just steel. Ah, the horns of the South, the crown jewel of these lands. We had barely laid the foundations of Tintagel when Seawall and his men had already built a lighthouse, eager to guide our ships to them. He always had a competitive spirit. Of course, it helped that he took every sailor from the homelands with him, along with a handful of knights, so they could learn from one another. And thus, the Keepers of the South were formed. I decreed that every sworn keeper would stand as an equal to a Knight of the Round Table. I doubt they still honor that law. But I am glad to see the keepers grown. In my time, there was only a lighthouse and barracks.
What earth-shattering revelation do you have for me? Are you threatening me? No, it can't be that simple. It sounds so... sentimental. I don't believe in things that are indescribable or unmeasurable. But how do I make sure I don't share the fate of the others? And how do I remain? That's it. Perhaps that's the very core of the problem. What's needed is a subject who is perfectly aware of what's happening, one who understands the intent behind everything. And that subject could only be me. Plus, there might be a few advantages to having an undead body. Let's see. Just need a few things and...
a fine kettle of fish, isn't it? Poor master. He must be terribly confused. I am the keeper of this cemetery. I know everything that happens around here. Master is... well, he's not really the master anymore. But he became one of us, so it is my duty to watch over him. Oh, it's very kind of you, but there's no need to worry. I will take care of him, just as I care for the others. I cannot promise he will be happy, but I'll at least make sure he'll be at peace. His mind has always been so tormented. He deserves some respite. Master's heart was in the right place, mostly. But his head was always all over the place. The dead, you see, they have simple needs and simple regrets. When there's too much clutter, things can get tangled up. But who am I to dwell on such matters? I'm just a simple servant, after all. Things like this are far beyond my understanding. Oh, please, visit any time. I'm sure it'll make him happy. And I suppose I won't be going to sleep just yet. Not while the Master is still adjusting to his new state. It might be a good time to tidy up around here. Who knows? I might stumble upon a few useful items for your journey. So, don't be a stranger. Oh, you're back.
And? Your secrecy doesn't exactly inspire trust, you know. But I have no choice but to take your word for it. You can report back to the quartermaster that the job's done. But if the necromancer ever shows up to stir trouble again, it'll be your head. Since you've proven you're brave enough to face the undead, I take it you're not afraid of the night either, are you? I might have another job for you if you're interested. A little while ago, another traveler came through here bragging that he found a place where you could easily gather ethereal cobwebs. He was supposed to return with proof, but, well, I'm afraid he may have met an unfortunate end, as often happens. But I'm still curious about the place he mentioned. It's just a stranger who wanted to share the fire for a while. I'll never ask his name. I didn't see the point. There are those on Avalon who love the thrill of braving the night. They don't usually live very long. I think he mistook me for a kindred spirit. When you wander through the weirdness and observe the creatures it has altered, you'll notice a strange substance covering them. That's ethereal cobweb. But no one knows where it comes from. Although some scholars suspect it's the weirdness in its tangible form. I thought it could only be harvested from the bodies of those changed by the weirdness. But if that traveler was right, then there might be an easier way. Or to build a weirdness-repelling fire, of course. Look, if you're ever out at night with no safe place to shelter, ethereal cobwebs can save your life. It's like a temporary personal menhir. That's good. Hand me a map. I don't know the exact location, but you should find it in this area. Good luck.
I like it when things are quiet. Well now, that's not half bad. Not half bad at all. Solid work, and you didn't skimp on the details. You've nailed the basics. So how about we try something a bit fancier, huh? Damn, you're getting the hang of this quicker than most. Tell you what, you've earned the chance to try something more advanced. I've got a pattern I've been sitting on, and if you get it right, you'll have armor so good, even I might get jealous. Oi, friend. You went and made armor based on the Armor's Almanac, didn't you? I should have warned you. That's a terrible idea. Those books are the biggest load of crap I've ever come across. And I've talked to Hrolf when he's had a few too many. Yeah, well, Alar is a fanatical follower of that Shadowblade. He's read a couple of those books, and suddenly he thinks he knows my trade better than I do after 40 years in a forge. He even had the nerve to argue with me. Now, I told him, I can hammer your face just as easily as this steel. Well, that shut him up quick. Arden Shitblade, you mean? Of course I don't respect him. That fool is ruining the reputation of every armorer out there. No one knows who he is or why his nonsense even gets published. But plenty of people would love to get their hands on him. I'd gladly get rid of him myself. Well, if you could find him, knock some sense into his empty head, and cut off his hands, so he'd never write another book. I would cover you in gold. I've got no idea. Maybe Alar knows something. He's the biggest admirer of that charlatan I've ever met. He's been trying to share the wisdom of those books, but I chased him off and haven't seen him since. Thank you. You'll not only make this old smith happy, but the entire guild will be grateful. You've done it again! Oh, there's real craftsmanship in this one. Keep this up, and folks will be coming to you instead of me. Oh, I've got something else for you, friend. This one will make you sweat, but hopefully you'll come out as sharp as my finest blade. I might retire early and let you take over the forge. Joking aside, that's some bloody fine work. Looks like you've handled everything I had for you. If you're hungry for more knowledge, you might want to seek out a blacksmith from the tribes. Say what you want about the Dal Rita, but those bastards have tricks up their sleeves that even I don't know.
expect to see you here. Yes? Did you find out what's been happening out there? Great. A necromancer. Just what we needed. It wasn't the dark druid from the legends, was it? Good thing you got rid of him then. We already have the Dalriada almost on our doorstep. We don't need an army of the undead to boot. You did well. Maybe it's not so bad having you here. It used to belong to the keep. You could say it was its beating heart. That village was where our lighthouses led the ships, and where the workers lived with their families. Ah, those must have been the days. But then the ships stopped coming, and there were less and less new keepers, and the others left looking for a better life. Until, at last, the sea took most of it. Depends on your idea of interesting. There's a weird statue with a gong, but I'm not sure how much of it is left. Other than that, probably just damp rubble. I don't know, ask Marg. I'm pretty sure he just sits there all day instead of hunting. No wonder we've been eating nothing but fish. What else was there to do? There weren't enough people to live there, and nobody wanted to anyway. Not since the monsters started coming out of the sea. We wiped out most of them, but new ones showed up every now and then. Marg, our hunter, keeps an eye on the place. You can talk to him if you want.
Well, have you got a little stolen something for me yet? Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. A human doing my work. I can't take it. You've been just a great source of fun. All right, time for my part of the deal, I guess. Close your eyes, put on a serious face, like something very mystical is happening. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And done. Now you've got a bit of my power. Go into the world, use it well. Oh, you must. Safe travels.
face every threat.
you are. Look, darling, it's the lovely mercenary I hired to clear out that seaside estate I told you about.
You did what?
Well, you told me to deal with it, so I did. You didn't expect me to just sit on my hands while surrounded by unwashed fishermen, did you?
Look, I'm sorry about my wife. Whatever she told you to do, forget about it. I'll pay you for your trouble. Trust me, I can imagine. Unfortunately, she often gets lost in her enthusiasm. We weren't, at least I wasn't planning on staying here any longer than necessary. We have no need for an estate.
Well, that's your opinion. One I simply do not share. You have? Oh, that's wonderful. I can start planning the welcoming banquet. I'm thinking seafoam made of spun silver, dancers dressed as alluring sea creatures.
And who are you going to invite, The crabs? None of your friends from Camelot are going to come all this way just to have dinner, are they?
Dear gods, Duncan. You're so plebeian. Of course they will come. Besides, there must be some important people here. Weren't you just talking with them? You can invite them too.
Good luck with that. Are you sure that place is safe now?
Oh my, how polite. I wouldn't have expected that from such a vagabond. But no matter, for I now have the delightful task of decorating an entire house.
Marvelous.
Truly it is. Now, we must get in touch with that splendid woodworker from Camelot. You know the one. He made those exquisite cabinets for the Gévaudan. Oh, and don't forget to pay the nice mercenary. At least someone in this godforsaken place turned out to be useful.
Yes, dear.
Why don't you come visit us once we're all settled, And don't fret. There's no need to make yourself too presentable. I highly doubt we'll be entertaining any important guests just yet.
Oi, Noel! What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke? Oi, you're not from around here, are you? Come on, sit down and tell me something about the world out there. Don't know. If I knew what to ask, I'd have asked it already. Now that I believe. Everywhere's a mess, even here. I remember when we were held in the same regard as Camelot. Look at us now. They're taken in wimps. It's nothing like the old days. Don't even get me started. Fergus always claims he's busy, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what he actually does. Probably just pretends to work. I talk to Riderick from the museum sometimes, but that one's a real know-it-all. We always end up arguing about how things used to be. If you ask me, they're all just as bad as each other. It's never going to be the same again. My brothers are gone, and I'm left here, all alone. We had a beautiful tradition. Choosing new keepers was done differently back then. You had to lie down and sleep in a special spot, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's a secret, and it looks like it'll die with me. Of course I do. In my day, it wasn't sunken. It was a beautiful, lively place. Pilgrims would visit the All-Mother's Temple and Excalibur, and end up in the village. It broke my heart when I heard about the flooding. They say the Druids caused it, but who really knows? It doesn't matter now who did or didn't do what. It's over, that's all. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to.
Ah, that's ye. Do you need something? You did? I thought I heard some hammering. Oh, well, thank you for that. Truly. One less thing to worry about, right? Here, I put aside some money from my budget. You've earned it. And you have my gratitude. I'd ask you to fix the refugee barracks, but, well, there's no budget for
making people's lives slightly less miserable. We'd have to do with something less spectacular. There are two places around here that could use some fixing up. First, there's the old gate. It used to be a proud marker for our territory, but now it's more of a sorry welcome sign. Then, there's the monument to the sea creature. It's been weathered down by the salty breeze, and honestly, it's starting to look less monumental and more pathetic. If you could restore them, it would do wonders for morale, and maybe even impress Fergus. What do you say? Ah, that's the spirit! I knew I could count on you. Once those are back in shape, this place might start looking like it's cared for again. Ah, yes, that old house. That place has been empty for years. The story goes, the last owner, Keeper Galen, threw himself into the sea one stormy night. Some folks whisper of curses or restless spirits, but I say it's just talk. The captain put it up for sale ages ago, but no one's had the guts or sense, if you ask me, to take it. If you're thinking of buying it, go for it. Make it your home. Every house deserves someone to fill it with life again. Well, the thing is, I've always liked the village and the veterans living here. When you go to the tavern, they'd always share a drink and a story with you. Some of them can be real dicks. Take Tadkin, for example. But all in all, it's always been a nice place to visit. So, when the opportunity came up, I figured, why not? But the moment I took this post, I stopped being Tiernan the drinking buddy and turned into their punching bag. It's just demands, demands, demands. And when I don't meet them immediately, they start yelling and calling me names. Now I get what people mean when they say, be careful what you wish for. Because clearly, I was the best man for the job. A man with a bad leg. Perfect for running around fixing things, right? I wanted to be a builder. Big things, lighthouses, bridges. But Dara took one look at me and thought, maybe not the guy who limps like a drunk on ice. So they found me something else. Repairs. Patching up what's already standing. Not quite what I dreamed of. But hey, at least nothing I work on is tall enough to kill me if I fall off. Well, unless you count that one time I got too ambitious. Turns out, hanging tapestries isn't as harmless as it sounds. No, not really. Fortunately.